Todd, and Kalaris. And guys, welcome here to the desk of the Europe Road to BlizzCon Championship. My name is Solid, joined here with Grubby, and it is an honor to be on the stage, my friend.
Yeah, it's nice to cast this together. And on what a great stage here, the Road to BlizzCon for Europe. And we're starting with a really, really cool match.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Na'Vi, they won the first Europe qualifier #1 way back in July, I believe it was. But PiP, they're a little bit more unknown. They placed top 16 twice, not really getting the same kind of results as Na'Vi. And they're a bit of a wild card in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they qualified with like 9th place, 5th place, that kind of thing. So they didn't just come in there like Na'Vi, swooped down and said, here's our qualification trophy, and all the other tournaments are just for money and experience. They kind of struggle to even qualify for this. And I was just in the players area talking to the teams a bit. I saw you there too. And the teams, they all think that PiP is kind of probably the least favorite to advance in any shape or form in this tournament, with Na'Vi actually being the most favorite.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking at Na'Vi as one of those top teams to advance. Of course, Group A is super stacked. Na'Vi, Dignitas, formerly known as Bob, Team Liquid, and PiP. And it sounds like we're going to be starting the draft very soon. The first match, the first battleground of the day is going to be Cursed Hollow.
Yep, well, it's interesting. Like, these teams, they all haven't been seen for something like 2 to 3 weeks in competition. So we really don't know how they have been preparing. They're going to have special strategies, pocket strategies, and they're going to be able to bring that here. And you know, okay, here's the meta, but like every time you can surprise the opponent, that's a big advantage for you.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, it looks like the draft is actually going to be starting, so we can hop into that in just a moment. Look at those guys. They're sitting here in the backstage. Now, of course, for day one here this Friday, it is the group stage. So this is before the actual big full-fledged production does begin. I actually got to get a preview of what it looks like out there. I can't wait for it all to be shown off. But look at the draft. Pretty standard picks. We see that Zeratul has been banned on the side of Na'Vi. Uther being banned out by Pirates and Pyjamas, and Kael'thas for that first pick. I don't think anyone should be surprised by this.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't follow the Europe scene at all, you might be a little bit surprised by the heavy emphasis of Kael'thas' play, how he's still very treasured. And we see in the Asian metagame in Korea and China, he doesn't hold as high of a position, as high of an esteem to actually open up your draft with it. But we see that the European teams feel that starting with Kael'thas, it's a very reliable form of damage that also has stun, so he doesn't really have super major weaknesses, and it really allows you to steer the draft in any direction that you still want to without giving away too much of your intentions.
Yeah, like you said, it's hiding your style. It's very flexible in terms of the way you build with it, pair tons with the gravity laps. But Pirates and Pyjamas, they're doing what Asia likes to do a lot and picking up a very early Leoric. And they could even try to do something like a double warrior early on. Now, this is something that is so common, specifically in Asia, but it's getting more common globally, right? Ever since MSI, we've seen that playstyle affect NA, EU, everyone, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a big surprise to see which region has the best metagame. Everyone was wondering before MSI MGA. Then it turned out, yeah, it's Korea. So let's copy that strategy.
All right, well, the Jaina pick up very smart to get some damage, and wow, you talked about lockdown.
There we go. 3 forms of lockdown already. Stormbolt, we've got Lunar Flare and Gravity Lap, so lots of lockdown there. So he's some very potential, very strong pick-off composition early on.
We like to call this Miranda, the Muradin Tyrande pairing, because of the power of these two roaming together. The Sentinel provides so much vision on the battleground, specifically Cursed Hollow being so large. If the enemy team is trying to sneak out a pair of Giants, Bruisers, or even the boss, it's so good for just getting eyes on for that moment. Okay, all right. Well, it looks like we're going to see Kerrigan banned out here. They're worried about that potential pairing for even more stuns. I think that's a very smart ban by Pirates, but not Na'Vi. They're going to have the next ban here.
Yeah, it's a very solid defensive pick, removing Kerrigan there. There's already so much lockdown, super scary. So easy to get kills for Na'Vi in the early game. They're going to remove Abathur.
Interesting. Abathur, of course, does have so much global presence. Putting the hat on Leoric, a very powerful pairing. He's already, in your face so frequently. And Na'Vi now has the next 2 picks. Excuse me, Pirates and Pyjamas have the next 2 picks in this draft.
So from the really high tier picks, what is still available? We've got Johanna is a very popular pick. Are they going to give that one away, or do they prioritize it?
Yeah, I think Johanna makes a lot of sense here, considering the amount of AoE they already have with Jaina and then Leoric. He's more of a bruiser than like just a solo warrior. I think it makes a lot of sense to go for Johanna. Arthas does pair very well with Leoric as well. Double bruiser style, big front line, a lot of control, just with the slows in general. So I do like the pickup of Arthas a little bit more than Johanna in this situation.
Yeah, like often the extra value that Johanna can offer too is that she has that shield glare and the AoE blind effect in a cone shape in front of her, where she can make enemy heroes miss basic attacks. We don't have a super high emphasis on basic attacks yet from Na'Vi here. So.
Yeah, they're really thinking about this next pickup. They're down to just 55 seconds left in their bonus pool. But they also need to think about their healer, and with Uther being banned out, sometimes you'll see teams prioritize Malfurion or Rhaegar more, depending on how they want to approach the game. Considering the amount of just like lockdown and burst, they might want Rhaegar more than Malf. Ooh, but they go for Kharazim.
Okay, so Kharazim, his form of preventing lockdown kills, obviously is going to be rested in Divine Palm. We see a lot of seven-sided strike usage, but this could be a situation where Divine Palm might be more popular.
Definitely. I mean, seven-sided strike we see used against multi-warrior more frequently, I would say. But Palm, it's very akin to Ancestral. It just gives you that snap call. That you see all that focus from Kael'thas Tyrande going down onto your Jaina or Leoric, whomever. And that second life is just so powerful. But I think this makes a lot of sense to go for maybe just another damage dealer, right? Vala is a very safe, big assassin to pick up. We already see all the potential that exists for lockdown for Na'Vi. So maybe they want to go for something that's a little bit safe. Vala having the vault, the sustainability to get away from fights. They're going for Falstad. Very interesting. And with Falstad being picked up, obviously, he is one of those big assassins. He has a lot of mobility to fly across the battleground, have that global presence there for the team fights. His kit is great, Hinterland's Blast, especially when you get the big burst in the late game. If you do decide to spec that way, very powerful hero.
And some of the players here have actually mentioned that they find Falstad to be a very underrated hero. Indeed, every hero that is unpopular being underrated, because they can all be useful in some shape or form. And they actually mentioned that Mighty Gust is the kind of upcoming heroic for Falstad.
Do you think we're going to see Mighty Gust today?
We might. I mean, pretty much on Cursed Hollow, with all the alleys and nooks and crannies that we have, Mighty Gust is guaranteed to hit almost everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great point. We've actually seen crazy plays made with Mighty Gust in the past where Falstad will fly over the boss pit, actually Mighty Gust him off the boss, and then use his barrel roll to get through the wall and steal the boss. Like, that is like the coolest thing and can't happen here in Cursed Hollow.
And if you take Epic Mount at level 20, you can do even more plays.
All right, well, Johanna, she has been left, so she will be picked up. And Malfurion paired with that, that is a very strong composition by Na'Vi.
Yeah, I like their team very, very much. Tyrande, a high damage dealer. Kael'thas, he could do it by himself. We occasionally see Uther, Kael'thas, triple warrior. He could do it by himself, but Tyrande adds a lot of damage there. Lots of lockdown. Very many CC, so you'll never see like a hero like Illidan coming out now in Pirates in Pyjamas. There's way too much lockdown and CC.
Yeah, reverberation, the lockdown in general. Illidan makes no sense here, and but I think considering that there won't be an Illidan, I think this makes a lot of sense for it to be a very Stormbolt heavy build for Muradin in this matchup. Pirates, though, they have a fair amount of damage with those two. I think it still makes sense to go for something like Arthas for this final pickup.
Yeah, they need someone who can protect the backline. They have two very high damage dealing backline who do best when left alone, obviously. And they would like someone to both protect them, but also to be able to be self-sufficient, that if he gets called out, he won't be an easy death. I'm a little worried for Arthas because, he can take Relentless, so that will help against stun. But he needs to stay very close with the team to get those Kharazim heals.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, Pirates are down to just a few seconds here in this draft, that final pick, and they go for a Nubarak. They do go for a Warrior, but you mentioned Arthas being, locked down. Yeah, he has the escape.
He has no escape, so Nubarak has that, but with a trade-off of having a much lower health pool. Now, do you think he will be focusing on Cocoon or Locust Swarm? Locust Swarm taking quite a heavy hit recently in its damage output. But who do you Cocoon? Probably Malfurion after he turns on Tranquility.
It's a strong target to pick up. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you can just take out a lot of that duration of Tranquility with Cocoon, it's a very powerful thing. Tranquility, of course, being a very strong heroic, you have Ice Block. You can actually still dodge the Cocoon Blast at level 13 once you pick up Ice Block. So it becomes a really interesting dance between those two heroes, trying to bait out the Ice Block early enough to then have the Cocoon come out, or anticipating the Ice Block with the Cocoon prior.
So we can look maybe for some big plays to be made there by Splendor, blocking the Cocoon mid-flight with Ice Block. That'll be super cool. So who do you think has the stronger early game composition?
When it comes to early game, it's tough to say. I'm really liking Navi's comp in general just because they have the Tyrande, Muradin, and the Kael'thas for that roam. I just think they're going to be a little bit more scary early game. Jaina, of course, very strong in her own right in the early game, but I'm really feeling the Navi comp. Look at those results, too. 15-3 in terms of their results so far. Playing a lot of Muradin, a lot of Malfurion. We see that stays true today.
So they got their comfort heroes. That's definitely something to point out here. Lots of Muradin and Malf play, and they got those exactly. So they didn't really get thwarted in any of their plans. Then again, maybe the first game is the ideal opportunity to just play to your comfort for both teams, to kind of feel each other out and not let nerfs disrupt like crazy playstyles too much.
Yeah,
just be comfortable.
And you got to talk about the fact that this is, of course, their first time playing on LAN in quite a while. For some of these teams, it could be their first time, period.
Yeah, exactly. And even if they have played on LAN before, there has not been a greater opportunity to achieve glory in Heroes of the Storm than this very event. Yes, this is the road to BlizzCon, and the top 2 teams will qualify to go to BlizzCon to play on the biggest stage yet for Heroes of the Storm, which will be completely awesome. But this is also a championship in its own right.
All right, guys. Well, we are loading into game number 1 here on Crystallo. And on the left side, that is going to be Navi.
Yeah, and on the right side, we've got Team Pirates in Pyjamas. Everyone is gathering around the middle here.
Oh, wow. So much damage going down to Anubarak, immediately getting that early takedown in this game.
Wow. Yeah, that escape didn't do him any good. Completely locked down. And well, keep in mind, early kills aren't too impactful, but it's still nice to get first blood. You get a little bit more experience. And if you can hold on to that, you're going to have your new talent a little bit quicker than the other team every time.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that small XP that you mentioned. It does go a long way, especially just getting level 4. You can find timing windows to try to take advantage of that. And already we see Miranda setting up for these potential takedowns. Falside has to be very careful, but having barrel roll, that's why that hero is strong in these kind of counterplays.
Yeah, and so long as Falstad doesn't get attacked by Splendor, he will be able to keep that tailwind. He's got the 20% extra movement speed, and as you can see, he's playing very, very safely. Let's look at Alex, the Pro G. He's picking up that regen globe, and yeah, he's not going to clear waves or anything here. It would be way too risky. He knows 3 opponents are here against him, but as long as he stays mounted and uses Iron Skin when it gets difficult, he should be completely safe.
So how do you feel about the Malfurion picking up Moonburn here? They're really trying to throw Malfurion up in the top lane to be a solo laner in his own right. Do you like this play here for Curse Hollow?
Well, it's purely an early game choice, right? Like since they decide they want him to solo lane, he's got to have Moonburn, or they're going to take too much. He's going to take too much time to rotate to the bottom if he wants to help out a tribute.
All right, well, a nice rotation trying to force Leoric back. He will take a fair amount of damage from that, but of course can regen over time.
So the overlay showing everyone's talents there. Night Take Spawn on Johanna, Reverberation on Muradin, Mana Addict on Kael'thas, and Hunter's Mark on Tyrande for those increased lockdown damages. One recent change that we've seen in Jaina, when I say recent, I mean last month or 2 or so, is the pickup of Conjurer's Pursuit. Not going for the 10% extra slow on her chill with Deep Chill, but going for Conjurer's Pursuit, realizing that she does have the ability to use a lot of mana and wants to keep that up.
All right, well, we do see the Lunar Flare being thrown out here. Falstad up in the top. It's continuing to lane against Malfurion. And just the continuous rotations, but a nice dodge there by Jaina.
Heroes.
All right, first tribute is spawning. 2 minutes and 40 on the clock. It's at the top, so Malfurion and Falstad will soon be joined by the other heroes on the map. We see everyone rotating up. Jaina's still staying at the bottom. Navi says this tribute, we want to force it out, but Pirates in Pyjamas will play a peel style. They'll try to interrupt with all their abilities, coordinate as well as possible. Nope, Jaina is coming up as well, so it's going to be a full 5v5 in short order here.
Yeah, but Alex is channeling that tribute. They haven't stopped him yet. The last moment, the Drain Hook does connect, denying the channel at this point in time.
Elun's Grace has been picked up for Malfurion, which allows him to poke tributes easier, but he's taking a lot of damage here. Manages to get out, and the Wraith walk away by Ziku.
All right, well, we see that Malfurion rotates back to tap the well, going to re-enter this battle, still denying this tribute the best they can. Super KG going to be able to deny this as well. He can throw out the Impale, does that at the last moment. Nicely done, and the hammer can get two with Leoric coming from behind.
Leoric taking a lot of the ability cooldowns there upon himself. He survived, so that's technically a good thing. Same for Super KG. Now with some of the abilities on cooldown, we see Pirates and Pyjamas pushing in more, trying to get some damage on Murden, but he was able to get away.
But man, the power of that poke is really shining through, just constantly throwing out the chain bombs, the flame strikes from Kael'thas, applying on damage. 3 people pulled in from the Condemn, force that barrel roll out of fall side. He gets quite low, but they're all just in full-on retreat, trying to maintain this fight.
And Nubarak is not getting any of those heals from Karazim yet because he's been flanking, so he's a little low. Goes to tap the healing fountain, both teams are able to. Now, this is going to end as soon as Na'Vi hits level 7, or maybe even sooner than that. They're focusing. Smexy Style goes down on Karazim, and that's a takedown that will give them level 7 very soon.
Wow, that was so close. The Sentinel just barely not getting the takedown on Leoric. He's going to be hearthing back to base, and the first tribute of the game will go to the side of Na'Vi.
All right, they get that first tribute. Doesn't do anything for you yet, of course. Most people know this map, but just to reiterate, 3 tributes will give you a curse that will make every minion and fort on the opponent's side weak and defenseless. So when you get 3 tributes, that's really worth something. But the first and second one don't matter all too much yet.
Yeah, but level 7 has been reached, half a level lead in favor of Na'Vi, and that means they do have a slight point in time which they have that talent tier advantage. We see pretty standard stuff picked up. I'm actually really intrigued by the Muradin build so far, speccing into that Thunderclap so much in this game, considering they don't have a whole lot of auto attackers on their team on the side of Pirates and Pyjamas.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Falstad, whose auto attack is very relevant, going for the Power Throw, Vampiric Assault, and Secret Weapon combination, where you can get 3 hits with critical strike, 80% bonus damage while your Hammerang is flying out. But can Muradin get close enough to Falstad to actually make that work? Gonna have to wait and see. He is very near Falstad now. Focuses the Muradin, however, with that reverberation.
Yeah, a nice start. Jaina's a little bit late to this fight, so they notice they're just trying to sustain through this. We see the Wraith Walk used from Leoric back out of this fight, and now they're in position. Jaina has entered the fray. JPL looking for the flank, does miss the gravity lapse.
Yeah, an ambitious gravity lapse that now misses. It gives a bit of extra time here to Pirates and Pyjamas to engage without getting stunned by him. Smexy Style pretending to capture the tribute. It's just putting pressure on the opponent. You know you're not going to get it. You're just looking to have the opponents get pulled out of position.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage, though. We see Ziku's getting very low, but they managed to get the takedown early on Kael'thas. So much damage not available for Na'Vi. They have to retreat. Splendor trying to get out. The skeletal swing is not going to be there. Splendor will escape.
Wow, that was close, but that was excellently done by Pirates in Pyjamas, offering Ziku as a tribute, so to speak. He was taking a lot of damage, and he would have got taken down if it wasn't for a Nubarak there. Doing an Impale, Burrow Charge in, excellent lockdown. They get that takedown, and they equalize the experience a little bit.
Yeah, and having Falstad with his global presence is already paying off, right? They have these giants pushing the top lane on the side of Na'Vi, and he's able to fly up here, deny them, soak the XP, and suddenly it's dead even.
Yeah. 1 versus 2 takedowns, but equal experience. Next tribute still not going to be the decider. So if one team should unfortunately find itself below in XP and be 9 versus 10, they don't need to fight for the next tribute. But this is easily managed soon, as the tribute isn't spawning just yet. Nice dodge there by Quacknix on almost every ability, but it's the gravity lapse that finally does him in. And Cruiser's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, the 4-man rotation does pay off. Level 10 has now been reached by Na'Vi, and so once again, just kind of edging forward with XP. But Leoric was able to grab these bruisers, so a bit of additional map presence here on the side of PiP.
Very soon, next tribute will come. All the heroics have been picked up. We see Tranquility, Starfall, Phoenix, which is used indiscriminately as a 4th basic ability almost. Blessed Shield and Avatar. And on the other side, Pirates of Pyjamas, we see Entomb and Mighty Gust.
Mighty Gust was picked up. This is so exciting, Grubby. Such an uncommon pickup, especially paired with Entomb, but it's so much damage being thrown onto Leoric. He throws at the Entomb defensively. Wraithwalk backs away. Living Bomb not enough for the kill, and JPL goes down.
Wow! Mighty Gust into the Entomb. Ziku survives. They get the takedown, and this should give them the next tribute, unless something goes terribly wrong. in the next few seconds. Nice use of that Mighty Gust.
What a cool strategy.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. You know, this tournament means so much for these teams, and busting out something as unique as Mighty Gust is really cool. Zypho looks like he will channel yet another tribute, but no, the shield glare there at the last moment.
Now they can buy enough time. Kael'thas is coming back, and they're all looking very healthy in terms of mana and HP. So despite getting that takedown, Na'Vi is pushing back in here, and it's actually Pirates who has to give it up. Anub'arak was very low. He's coming back in, but it's not on time. That's kind of ironic. You get the takedown, but you expend a lot of HP and mana.
Right. Oh, no, Mighty Gust used on Muradin. Stormbolt, Gravity left to go out, and that will be another kill here on Falstad.
Oh, you almost think that maybe he misclicked his Mighty Gust in the wrong direction. He gave Muradin extra space to follow him up.
Okay, well, 2-1 in favor of Na'Vi for the tributes right now. Alex Pro G was able to channel that last one. And right now, it's all about the soak game. We see Muradin went back to base. He's going to make his way to the bottom lane where he'll be greeted by Jaina and Anub'arak.
Jake, how surprised are you by 7-sided Striker on Kharazim?
Considering they have 2 warriors, I think I like the pickup. It's just going to be so dicey to keep the team alive, right? We talked about the power of Divine Palm, but when it comes to Burst, it's potentially 50% of a hero's health, and that's such a strong power to have. If you can find Muradin a little bit too far forward or Johanna alone, you can get all those hits on that one hero. It's so much damage.
Yeah, especially when he goes into Avatar mode, gets that bonus HP,
yeah, that's true.
Dives maybe the backline to try and disable Falstad, and take off 50% of his HP. Invaluable.
Okay, 12-12. This could be a curse if Na'Vi manages to get it. It's a crucial fight right now, and a lot of damage being thrown up, but a Mighty Gust for the disengage.
So that's a Lunar Flare and a Hunter's Mark on Leoric. Lots of abilities on him. I'm surprised how much abilities they actually use on Leoric, but he's pretty much always the only one in range. They have gotten something out of it, though. Mighty Gust being down.
Yeah, that's cooldown, but it's only 23 more seconds before it's back up. It's a very low cooldown ability, so they could actually have another Mighty Gust available in this fight if they stall long enough. But that's so much damage going after Anub'arak. He will fall very early in this fight.
Anub'arak was 100% locked down from 100 to 0. Nicely done by Natus Vincere, managing their cooldowns and their stun follow-ups. Now it's a 5 versus 4. That's generally a full rout from the defending team. Pirates in Pyjamas. How much damage control can they do? They will take down Johanna, but they have 2 deaths on their side already.
The Mighty Gust used to save Falstad, so they managed to disengage, but there's definitely a win here for Na'Vi, and that will be the first curse of the game going their way.
They're actually pausing to pick it up. There's some strategy involved in not grabbing it immediately just to get in position everywhere. Sometimes you want to take it later to capture the boss. It's kind of a don't try this at home strategy. If you play in Hero League, it's like, hey guys, let's delay. First of all, people may not listen. Secondly, it may turn around against you. But now we have guaranteed that all players are in position to get the juicy free HP, free XP from every minion wave.
Yeah, and you're going to see their experience really propel forward here. Top fort has now fallen. We see the middle lane has been pressured a little bit. In the bottom lane, Muradin in full pursuit, taking out the entire wall already.
Yeah, and in this case, it's always nice for the attacking team to try and get as much damage as possible in every lane, but you need to be careful if the defenders assemble in force in a single place. You usually need to yield. For instance, Malfurion is still farming the middle, but if he were to meet multiple adversaries, of course, he would have to run quickly. Big push here in the bottom by Alex Pro G, Eternal, JPL, and Schwimpy, taking down a fort and getting the XP there. Probably going to regroup now and get the boss.
Yeah, I think that it's a strong call, but it's also a risky play. Now, having Hunter's Mark, 25% additional damage done to the boss, allows you to do it much more quickly. And notice how they have Johanna way out here in the front, just scouting. You don't need the damage. She's more to get eyes on for the enemy team and find out what they're doing. And we see the Sentinel has been sent out. It will scout out the fact that the boss has just been started by Pirates in Pyjamas.
They can't actually get there on time. Johanna could maybe do some disruption, maybe sell the idea that they're all going to be here sooner than they really are. But as long as they add all their damage on the boss, it should be on time.
It's going to be close. Yeah, they're forcing them off, and Alex the Pro G might even try to prevent this boss from leashing. Yeah, actually going to do just that. So they're looking for the fight. 15-14. This is a risky play. A lot of damage being thrown into Leoric, but he's going to stay out there in 2 misses entirely. And now they find Jaina forcing out the ice block.
Mighty Gust will try to save her, but she's still rooted in place by the Entangle. Alex the Pro G will go down here. It's a 1-for-1, but so much damage on Pirates in Pyjamas.
What a devastating fight. Well done here by Na'Vi. Their boss is pushing in the bottom lane, and they win the team fight.
Yeah, this was a huge moment in the game, perhaps the biggest moment yet. As you said, leashing that boss, put pressure on Pirates in Pyjamas to maybe stay there. It's like, wow, we're going to give such a cheap and easy boss to them, but most the best thing would have been to just give it up. Just accept that it is a loss. It was not a good condition to fight in terms of XP, in terms of boss pressure at the bottom. Easier to defend at the keep, but now they have paid the ultimate price. They've tried the risky thing and also paid for it.
And I just love the decision-making in all of this. Not only with that fight, but the way they responded afterwards. They threw Malfurion down the middle lane. He has Moonburn. He doesn't need to be there to help burn down the boss, and they start soaking the XP there. Now they have a 2-level lead, a talent tier advantage, and they're in such a commanding position of this game.
Yeah, now Na'Vi doesn't need to actually achieve something like they can if they see a good opportunity, and that's exactly what they're trying here, getting the keep. But they're also getting close to being ahead in getting to level 20 first, which is really, really impactful. But they actually see they have time to take down this keep. Gonna have to disengage here, but they're not in too much risk because there's no level 16 yet for PiP.
You know, it's a big deal that Pirates and Pyjamas were able to defend this, but I don't think it's going to matter. They throw out the Phoenix. One more Storm Bolt should be enough, just barely short of getting the kill.
Yeah, he didn't have that Sledgehammer talent on Muradin, and Super KG did a great job tanking all the Phoenix damage. The Phoenix always prioritizes heroes over keeps and managed to get that keep from not dying.
Yeah, well done. All right, they survive for the time being. Keep down to very little health. Tribute about to spawn here in the left side of the battleground, and it will be Na'Vi in position. But Pirates now have level 16 talent, so they're on that even advantage.
Yeah, it's not a must contest Tribute. They are a little bit far away. They'll be kind of rushing in and going through that bush that you just saw there. So too risky to do that. But I feel like the next Tribute will be a must contest. Pirates and Pyjamas will need to have something really important happen there, because if they don't take the next Tribute, they'll have to fight when Na'Vi is very close to level 20 for the next Tribute.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it's going to be 1-to-1 right now. Sentinel, once again, we have Ziku just waiting, predicting that they're going for this. This is actually a big play. Schwimpy staying in the back lines very intelligently, knowing that they might flank from the top here, and they realize this is too much of a risk right now.
Okay, we have the hold your ground talent on Johanna there, having a little bit more Iron Skin uptime, basically, which is taken there to stay alive better, not going for any greedy talents. Also not getting the spell shield, as a lot of damage is coming from Falstad there with the auto attack.
Yeah, and Falstad's going to hurt a lot, especially with Giant Killer. I mean, this entire auto attack build, when the hammer is out, the damage is going to be severe, especially considering they have a double warrior composition. I like this play a lot. He just needs to find that safety bubble. So many times in the fight, he's using the Mighty Gust early as a disengage, rather than the setup, which is what they really want to do with Leoric.
Right. Gravity Labs missed already. Leoric there zoning out, taking a Storm Bolt to the face, but he's had worse.
Yeah, misses his Drain Hope though, so I mean, it's a lot of just cooldowns being thrown out. The safe poke. This is a situation where Na'Vi's just trying to stall. They even have Kael'thas soaking that middle lane. Well, right now, Pirates are not soaking any lane. So this is favorable for Na'Vi in the end.
Very much so. They also have Siege Giants at the top, so there's always that question, who is the waiting game better for? And it's definitely for Na'Vi in all three respects.
All right, Eternal is going to take a lot of damage, and Tomb has been thrown out. They're looking for that big setup, but so much damage is going out from Kael'thas.
Wow, they're jumping in here, getting a lot of damage there on Jaina, who was to the front there, trapped. And now it's just a full disengage as Pirates tries to run away, but they don't have the tools to run away quickly enough.
Dwarf Toss going forward, not going to be connected, but JPL does have the damage needed to fly forward. He's going to possibly get the double. The Living Bomb will take out Falstad. Beautiful play by JPL.
Smexy style, where are you going, son? You are surrounded. Hands up in the air. And they'll take him down. Level 19.4 by Na'Vi. A very uncomfortable situation for Pirates. And now with 4 down?
Oh, this is going to be a down keep, and they could even try to end the game here, Grubby.
Yeah, like they can just take down this keep. Can't walk past it yet to go for the core because that bottom keep was kept alive. You can see how impactful that could potentially be. But it's just going to be 2 defenders against 5.
And those death timers are long. Jaina is back up, but does it matter? The shields are about to fall, but Alex Apergy taking a lot of damage, forced to pop that Iron Skin to stay alive. Malfurion doesn't have Tranquility, but does have the heals for the team, and that should be game number 1.
Yeah, indestructible proc on Alex Apergy, gets another 5 seconds of free hits, and that is going to be it.
GG.
Well played by Na'Vi.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Mighty Gust play, but it didn't work out here in this game. Na'Vi, they're up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, yeah, they played a lot. They played a lot better, basically from